Hey guys, welcome back to our Friday the Top 13 series where today we're going to be doing our top 13 films of 2019. Starting off with Stephanie's number 13.
My number 13 is Haunt. It was pretty interesting. It was about people that went into a haunted house that they found in the middle of nowhere, and a few things happened that were kind of creepy and gross, including a coffin full of spiders. So, yeah, it's up there.
For my number 13, I've got Brightburn, which is it's kind of a spin on the superhero genre where a little kid develops these superpowers, but he uses them for evil. Evil. So gory scenes. It was surprising. It was fun to watch in the theater. The story's not like super great. That's why it's at the bottom of my list, but it's interesting, different. Yeah, number 13.
My number 12 is Nightmare Cinema, which is an anthology, and it caught me off guard. There's some of them that were it was okay, and then some of them were just a little bit better than others. It's definitely something you should watch if you haven't watched it. Yeah, check it out.
I didn't care much for that one,
Yeah.
except for that one story. There was one with
the liposuction one, or
yeah, like the not the liposuction, but
the nun.
no, the one you're referring to. It wasn't liposuction. It was like Botox injections or something.
Or it was supposed to look like the
She was-
mom.
Yeah,
It was a little, yeah, that was
pretty
weird.
good.
No, it was weird.
Anyway, Nightmare Cinema. My number 12 is Zombieland Double Tap. I liked that one. It was funny. Not as good as the first one, but very enjoyable. Yeah, if you haven't seen it or the first one, then where have you been? It's fucking legendary. No, it's okay. But the second one, there's some parts that really made me laugh, like I don't know, just like the ridiculousness of it all. The Homer zombies.
There's a lot of Elvis Presley talk in the movie, so if you're an Elvis Presley fan, definitely check that out because
The locations and stuff, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zombieland 2.
So my number 11 was actually Brightburn. I thought some of the more memorable scenes were the girl also heads up for these movies. They're spoilers alert if you haven't watched any of the movies we've watched. This specific scene in Brightburn kind of grossed me out, but it was still pretty cool. Was when she tore out the piece of glass that was stuck in her eye. That was pretty raunchy.
Not a spoiler. That was in the trailer.
Oh, I wasn't
They
sure
put
if
that
it
in the
was.
trailer. Come on.
They showed a
it.
scene, but
Yeah.
Anyways.
Cool. Moving straight on to my number 11, which is funny because
My number 13.
your 11 was Brightburn.
Mm-hmm.
That was my 13. So your 13 is my 11. So I like Haunt, number 11. So another one of those films where kids go through one of these haunted houses, but the attractions and stuff are actually dangerous. So the scare actors in this one are actually psychos. So it's pretty cool. Another one came out. Was it 2018? What's it called? The one we watched right after coming back from Halloween Horror Nights. Hellfest. You guys have seen that one? Hellfest. Kids go through the haunted mazes at a carnival. Same kind of principle, but this one's like more like, I want to say darker,
and it's put out differently, and it's
more in the backwoods. Like this is a carnival from Hellfest. This one's like this random ass house in the middle of nowhere. Like that looks like fun. Sure.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Anyway, Haunt, my number 11.
So my number 10 is Perfection. I actually liked it a lot. There's the thought process of the movie was pretty interesting. It's cool how towards the end a lot of the things unravel on how the characters' relationship unravels and how things happen for certain reasons. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's it's pretty cool to just see how things make sense towards the end. Let's just say that. So if you want kind of something to pick your brain, I would definitely look at Perfection. It's pretty cool.
All right, moving into my top 10. So top 10 we've seen a couple of times this year, most recently in Halifax. Bliss is my number 10.
What?
You didn't like it?
I did. It's just, I guess I'll just have to see.
Yeah, number 10 is Bliss. It's kind of this psychedelic vampire story, very art house. Not very art house, but somewhat art house.
It's pretty much up there, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting story for sure. I like the gore and stuff. Some of the kills were pretty sweet. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, it's on Shudder, so get Shudder. Number 10, Bliss.
So my number 9 is Child's Play, the remake, obviously because it's 2019 edition. And it kind of hit weirdly with me because it's about Chucky essentially taking over technology, which technology is getting bigger and bigger each year. And I find it's something that's kind of would be potentially realistic if you had the right people doing the right things, I guess, in that situation. And mind you, it was also Mark Hamill that did the voice of Chucky. And Chucky kind of looked weird, but it's better than, I guess, what they did with Sonic. So
They fixed him.
they did multiple times, but that's okay.
Yeah, Child's Play didn't make my list, but it was we kind of just squeaked out. Yeah, but I liked it too. I thought Mark Hamill did a good job. The kills were cool. The ending didn't hit home for me, but yeah, pretty cool. Child's Play. My number 9 is an interesting pick because it's also one of my most disappointing films of the year, just because it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. It's It Chapter 2 is my number 9. I did enjoy it, but did not compare to the first one. Although the ending was epic with the big spider and stuff, just the way they beat him was kind of like, oh well, they could have done that as children, but but yeah, no, I liked when each of the kids were grown-ups now. Each of the characters went their own separate ways and had to face it by themselves. That was pretty cool. That was fun to watch. Yeah, It Chapter 2.
My topic, my number 8 actually is Us, which, fun fact too, Halloween Horror Nights 29 actually had an Us house in Orlando, Florida, which we went with some of our good friends, and it was pretty cool. I like that movie because it's a type of movie that you still have questions at the end of the movie, and you kind of start looking and digging online and stuff, and things come to light, like certain scenes and stuff were explained, and I like being able to know more about a movie, and it's pretty cool because you find out a lot of things, like for example, we found out that when they're on the pier and there's a section where they're like they can't go there because they're shooting a movie. Rumors were that they were shooting Lost Boys. So wasn't it like something?
No, well, that year they were filming.
Yeah, so that's speculations of that. That's what was going on there. So I don't know. I thought that if that would have been like a real thing, that would have been pretty sweet. But yeah, I liked Us. It was different, and it was pretty cool having an evil doppelganger. So that was my number 8.
Number 8. My number 8 is one you mentioned already. We went camping when we watched this one. The Perfection. Yeah, very, very. I had no expectations going into that film. I just heard people liked it. I watched it, and holy, the twists and turns in that film.
Yeah, it's
You think it's going one way, and then it flip flops, and I can't really say anything without spoiling the story.
It's hard.
So
It's super hard.
But some cool scenes. The ending scene was like, what the fuck? But yeah, in a good way. So yeah, The Perfection. Check that out on Netflix.
My number 7 is one that we recently just watched, and it was Climax. it was definitely more of an artsy fartsy kind of ordeal, like with a lot of like color schemes and stuff trying like throughout the movie, and it was a lot of yeah, like a psychedelic trip kind of laced the drinks kind of show. And I thought it was pretty cool because one of the main characters, she's actually in the Mummy movies that was with Tom Cruise, but didn't make it very far. That was supposed to be part of the Dark Universe. And yeah, so it's definitely an interesting, if you're feeling kind of just like in the mood for something different and cool, I definitely look up Climax.
That was 7? Yeah, that was 7. I didn't think you liked that film.
I did. It was just I need some of those weird artsy movie. I need time to process them because sometimes it depends what I'm doing when I'm watching them and how I feel. If I'm tired, because if I'm tired, those movies are not going to be that great.
No. Can't really focus on them.
No, especially
those films that need focus.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so number 7 for me is another surprise this year, a film that I didn't think I'd enjoy. Because I'd seen the trailer, it looked like it was riddled with CGI, which it was, but it wasn't terrible. A disaster / killer animal film, Crawl, with the killer gators. Yeah, that was fun watch. A lot of tension. When you're walking through the water and you're expecting them to be grabbed at any second under the water, I thought that was a lot of fun. We watched that at the movies after we came back from camping last summer.
It's just a good experience, and it's just such a fun ride in the theaters and stuff, and it's definitely a movie that it's super awesome the first time, but then the more you watch and stuff, more you already know what's going to happen kind of thing. So I guess it's definitely, if you've never watched it and you're into like crocodile movies and all these things, I would definitely like just on a Friday night check it out.
Probably one of my favorite gator films, if not my favorite so far. I haven't seen too many of them, but that was up there for me.
My number 6 is one of the movies that Sly had picked on his top 13, and it's Bliss. So I have a soft spot for vampire movies, and this one is, again, another very artsy, psychedelic kind of, lots of reddish, pink colors and stuff, and it's funny that she, like all the transformations that the character went through and I also like just like her attitude in the movie. She wasn't like this soft person trying to enter this world that she didn't know. She like embraced it, and she kind of had freak out moments and stuff, but then when she figured out like what to do and how to kind of maintain it, whatever, she did a pretty good job. And there's some scenes in there that are pretty nasty, especially one particular scene where she is, her boyfriend, I guess, is visiting her, and it kind of grosses me out when like the Achilles heel in your the bottom of your leg gets like anything with that. Yeah, anything with that, it's just kind of super eerie to me and just gross. And she just like bit it. She bit it, didn't she? Or she like took a bite out of it or something. It was gross.
Took out a chunk.
Yeah, it was freaking gross. It's definitely it's a short film actually. It's not that long. I think it's just a little over an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And
it's one that grows on you after repeated watches.
So it does. Like,
I liked it a lot more the second time I watched it.
Yeah, I did too. And it's more like she's a very like sassy character, which is awesome. So
actually, one of the things that people absolutely hate about this film is the main character.
Seriously? Yeah. It's actually one of the things...
They hate her attitude and, how, like, childish she is,
Okay, she does have her childish moments when she goes and sees people and she's just, like, she thinks she's king shit of Third Island, but, like, whatever. Like, everyone has different people that they like in a movie, and yeah.
Cool. That was 6? Mm-hmm. My number 6 is another one that you mentioned already. Jordan Peele's sophomore film, Us. One that I didn't care for the first time I watched it, and then it grew on me after thinking about it, and then after watching it again, I really liked it. Mm-hmm. So not much more to say other than what she had mentioned. Fantastic actors. the performances were really good, especially the main character. I didn't catch her other film this year, Little Monsters. I'm not sure if that was any good. But yeah, Us. Awesome film. Looking forward to Jordan Peele's next film. I guess he's just producing it. Candyman's coming out this year. I'm really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So now we're cracking down to the top 5, and so this movie in particular definitely caught me off guard because it literally what you were seeing in the trailers and stuff was what you were getting, which to me I thought it was like, okay, like you're teasing us, like whatever. My number 5 is The Lighthouse. It is an insane slow burn, and it's about just pure isolation and what to do. And as a proud Canadian, they did a lot of the movie in, I believe, in Nova Scotia, some parts in Nova Scotia.
Halifax.
In Halifax, yeah. So that's pretty freaking kick-ass, and there's a lot of weird parts in it, and like it's a very short, like it's a very like a short screen, and it's like a yellowy tinge, like black and white yellowy tinge movie, and there are some funny parts and stuff in it that kind of got me like, okay, so this isn't totally like, what am I watching? And it was like the more I thought about the movie and more like you give time to process and stuff, it was pretty good. Like I quite enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend it to you if that's your kind of thing. If you don't like slow burns and you're just strictly into like gore and guts and stuff, probably stay away from it. But yeah.
Yes, number 5.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is The Lighthouse as well. Robert Eggers' second film. I don't know if I like this one more than The Witch. Maybe over time I'll start liking it more, but I think I like The Witch a little more. So much masturbation in this film.
Oh my
so
gosh,
much masturbation.
yeah, and like to the weirdest things, and just like a lot of just peeing, like just I know that sounds weird, but a lot of just like.
Was there peeing?
Yeah, they just pee everywhere.
Do they? Oh,
yeah.
just like oh.
In their house, and like they have this little creepy mermaid statue, and they masturbate to it.
Well, that one guy does.
Robert Pattinson, come on, man. But
keep it in your pants, Rob.
I guess imagination back then wasn't as big as.
Or you needed imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So very, very art house. If you're not into that film or that style, then
yeah,
this will bore you to tears. But
even if you like the characters, like
because it's mostly just dialogue between the two people.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like in your face horror. It's very just character driven and just dialogue heavy.
Yeah, and
which is hard to understand.
Yeah. So because it's obviously not in theaters anymore, if you do find it somewhere online or in the stores and stuff, please, for your sanity, watch it with the subtitles. It will literally be your life savior because it is so hard to understand, and I am a person that have issues understanding what people say, especially if you have a very strong dialogue. Or dialect, accent, it's very hard, so literally just don't eat loud snacks or anything, just focus on the movie, and that's what your one mission will be. Yeah. It's pretty good though, so
check it out, The Lighthouse.
Yep. Number 5. My number 4 is Ready or Not. So this movie it looked like, the trailer looked like it was going to be such a fun time to begin with, and it is, like, it's wicked cool. Like, there's so many fun scenes, and it's just, like, overall, just, like, so fun to watch. The only thing, so I like the main character, the girl that's, like, the main character that's getting married, I'm probably not the only one that's going to say this, but the only issue I have with her is, which apparently that's what made her famous, is her screams. Like, her screams is, like, piercing to my ears, and I want to throat punch her. But I can't because...
That's her money maker.
Exactly. So, I'd probably go to jail, which I don't want to do that. So, besides that annoying screeching sound, she did such a terrific job. Like, she rocked the shit out of that show. Like, I freaking love that movie so much. It's so fun, and the characters are fun. They develop so well, and they all have their specific, like, they're not just like side people that follow the crowd kind of like characters and stuff. They all have their specific things to them, which I thought was super cool. So
Cool. My number 4 is also Ready or Not.
oh,
Same one. Yeah, a lot of fun. I love that concept of just this person being like invited into this home, and she's like a target right from the start. So
yeah,
so
yeah, that's pretty cool. Hi, I'm a
high,
toy maker.
high tension. Her just hiding through the house, and
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun. Her scream also irks me a little bit, but she's a great actress.
she
Other
is.
than that,
She did
fantastic.
awesome, and she did really good in Babysitter as well. She was the babysitter.
Netflix original, I think.
Yeah,
Check that out too. It's really good.
Yeah, Babysitter is very cool, and it's very, let's just say, modern.
Modern?
Yeah, I'd say it's modern. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
But Ready or Not is, yeah, it's super fun. And that's definitely something I would watch with my parents.
Mm-hmm. It's not hard to look at. There's not over the top scenes, or I don't think there's that much gore. There is some gore.
The gore with
sure.
with her when she gets stuck in a couple places, let's just say, and
in the ending.
yeah, like towards the end, and it's pretty funny because like you think you're out of the woods and it's like the gore is done and stuff, and then yeah, so we're gonna stop there because I'm gonna spoil it for you guys. So we're gonna go to the next movie, but check it out.
Check it out.
So my number 3 is actually one that he's mentioned before, and that's Crawl. I've watched a couple of them before in the past, and I feel like technology's come such a long way because the CGI used to be really, really bad, and so now it's still a CGI, but you can tell like it's pretty cool looking, and I also really like when the female main character is a hardcore badass and she is insane, and it's pretty funny because in the movie she's a professional swimmer, so she goes to see her dad because he's being stubborn and doesn't want to leave the what is it, like tornado hurricane kind of flooding, whatever, and so anyways, and she goes to try to help him out and then just goes through like literally like hell with her body because she has to like swim everywhere, and she's got to like literally pretty much tear apart her childhood home trying to save her dad, and she just like she's like really awesome.
One where realism is really stretched a little bit, so you kind of have to have an open mind, especially by the ending.
Oh yeah, there's definitely
a lot of stuff like no way, come on, but it's still a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, my number 3 is kind of a cheatsy pick because it actually came out in 2017 in its home country in Mexico, but it only got a wide release this year. So that's Tigers Are Not Afraid. It's a little Mexican film. It's got some paranormal elements to it, but it's more so like a gang violence like based film. So if that one's also on Shudder, if you haven't seen it, it's Spanish only with subtitles. But I thought that the performances by the kids, because it's a group of kids that hang out together, they're orphaned because of these gang wars, drug wars going on, and they're being hunted down by these gang leaders, and they're also being haunted by like the spirits of the I guess the victims of this gang. So it's a very unique film. It's one that sticks with you a little while, so it's check it out for sure. You haven't seen that one yet?
I saw bits and parts of it. When we watch movies that have subtitles and stuff, I have to be there from the beginning because if I jump into it and I start reading the subtitles, it won't make sense to me. And also I'm a very slow reader, so I need to go back to the beginning and actually take my time and enjoy the movie instead of jumping into it. But from what he said, it looks like a really good movie. So
yeah, and I don't think this is so much a cheap pick because it actually won awards this year for 2020. Was it the Bloody Disgusting, the Chainsaw Awards? I think it won like the Foreign Film Award. So check that out. It's really good.
Number 2. So, my number 2 pick is Doctor Sleep. So we went to see this movie in theaters, and it was super cool. And it wasn't at all what I thought it was. Like, they did a good job with the trailer, because you look at the trailer and you kind of just you can really think of, like, you can really picture how the movie would tangle out, or just whatever, because you know how sometimes you see so many parts in the trailer that you're like, that's all the good parts are in the trailer. So I found that they did a really good job with, like, all the scenes. And okay, so I'm gonna massacre this name really bad. So Ewan McGregor did a terrific job. And also the little girl that did kind of his co-dreamer, like, I don't even know how to explain that.
They both have The Shining. They become partners.
Yeah, exactly. So this, apparently there are multiple people in the world that they have discovered that have The Shining, and so there's like these like mini cult group that tries to kind of find all the kids that have The Shining and literally suck the shine out of them, which sounds kind of weird, but like
they're sort of vampires.
Yeah.
But they don't suck blood. They suck. Their source of like life force comes from these beings who have The Shining, which is an ability to speak through just with their minds. They can communicate that way. It's just something in them that they really crave.
And I thought it was really cool because, like, there are like the typical bad guys that are like the cultists and stuff, and they were kind of like some of my favorite people in the movie, because they're just like, I don't know, like they're like cool. Like, they just like, they had like wicked costumes, and like the main bad girl was pretty, like, yeah, she was pretty cool. Like,
I hope she gets a spin-off film. That'd be one like an origin story I'd like to see.
For sure.
All right, so my number 2, I think our 1 and 2s are going to be. So my number 2 is Midsommar, and Ari Aster's second film. A lot of sophomore films on my list. I got Us, Midsommar, and what's the other one? Lighthouse. So they're sophomore, like they're the director's second films. But Midsommar, holy frig.
Yeah.
That's one that you watch and you think, what the hell, I don't know if I like this. But it takes a few days before you start to realize that that's pretty, just because how unique it is.
Unique is a very polite way of saying that.
It's pretty insane.
It's not unique in a bad way, by the way. It's unique in a...
it might be unique in a bad way if you're not into art house films. But very uniquely shot, all in the daytime. Beautiful landscape. That's one of the cinematography in that film is masterful. Ari Aster, his first film was my favorite of that year, Hereditary. And he just knocks out of the park with this one as well. So I'm excited to see what he comes up with in the future.
Doesn't he have a movie coming out?
Well, no, Midsommar is the last one, I think. I haven't heard anything else he's doing. I heard rumblings that he's trying to do something outside of the horror genre for the next time. He's kind of want to try different stuff, which I hope is not the case.
No.
I'm not sure if that's just pulling that out of my butt. I thought I read that somewhere. But if so, that'd be sad.
Yeah.
Midsommar really is about these group of friends who go to, is it Sweden?
I think so.
Norway? No, Sweden. Maybe? They go to Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And just this town that experiences daylight all the time. And they go through this ritual, kind of this festival of theirs, their midsummer festival. But they're not accustomed to their customs. And either they completely reject it, go along with it, and you'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely, yeah.
So number 2, Midsommar.
So, yeah, you did have it right. My number 1 is Midsommar. Midsommar for multiple reasons, because it starts off really, like, just like funky and eerie. Like she goes to visit her family, and just a bunch of like just really nasty stuff happened to her family and her sister. So she tries to deal with it, and so anyway, she goes to like you said, like a festival of life for this like new culture and her friends and stuff, and it's very different because compared to Hereditary, where everything was so like gloomy and darker colors and stuff, Midsummer's just like a complete flip flop from that, and it's very the characters and stuff are very not, like you said, not accustomed to their customs. Like they just do stuff that they would do on a camping trip, but then get in trouble for, like, I don't know, not using, let's just say, a public bathroom properly, and decide to go and pee
on a tree?
somewhere.
On a sacred tree.
Yeah, and so anyways, the little village didn't appreciate that. So let's just say some of their things that they do in the village and how everything is all done is pretty cool, because it's just like it opens you up to like what like different things that people do in their culture and stuff. And I'm not saying people actually do this stuff, because if you watch Midsummer, you will know what I'm talking about, because towards the more you go towards the end, the weirder it gets. And definitely it's not a show that I would introduce to my children.
You have children?
No, I don't, but it's definitely not something that I would make a family night.
No.
Yeah, because I've done that mistake with a movie that was not even bad, and I've not been
What was
able.
that?
That time I watched Dead Snow.
With your parents?
With Mom and
Dead
Dad.
Snow too?
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that.
awesome. They actually said that they liked it till the very end, until he decided to dig up his girlfriend, and
Don't ruin it.
yeah, yeah. So you need to, yeah. That's
Yeah.
another movie you need to check out: Dead Snow and Dead Snow 2.
Not 2019.
No, but still something you should check out.
So my number one is Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, and yeah, everything she said about that one. The villain, what's her name? Is it Rose the Hat? Something the Hat. She's very memorable, except for her name. Obviously, I suck with names. But she was the best part of that film. Her performance, she's kind of like this hippie kind of character, but she's like vicious.
Yeah, like a hippie kind of.
She's like super mellow.
Yeah.
But
she was my favorite
turns
character.
insane. Yeah, it's yeah, Ewan McGregor did a good job. Just fun. I didn't know if I'd like that one. It's one of those things where The Shining, how do you make a sequel to that? Although I think I'm not the biggest fan of The Shining. Actually, I think I might like Doctor Sleep a little more. Yeah, pretty sure I like Doctor Sleep more
than The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining was very long, and so was Doctor Sleep. But Doctor Sleep was.
I thought Shining was not long enough. I thought it needed more character development. That's my issue with it.
Okay. I definitely agree with the more character development, but I felt that the length was too long, but I felt like they could have developed the characters more in the length that they had, if that makes much sense.
You'd be sacrificing some pretty iconic scenes, though, if you did that. I don't think you can cut anything in The Shining. I feel like you should add more to it. But, yeah, no, Doctor Sleep is my favorite film of the year. And if you follow us on the Asylum group,
Asylum
Horror, people are tending to side with Midsommar for the movie of the year. Mm-hmm. So if you guys haven't voted yet, go on to the Facebook page and vote on your favorite film of 2019. That film will be inducted into our Movie Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that signifies. Maybe if we have like a marathon weekend, there'll be just a Hall of Fame films kind of thing. So yeah, if you have any ideas towards what to do with our Hall of Fame, if it should be just a marathon kind of weekend style of just a lineup of films that we can marathon. But yeah, if that's something that interests you, comment here. What's your favorite movie of 2019? And hope you all have a great weekend. See you on the next list.